Hey YouTube, this is Oliver. So I made my video yesterday and I was telling you guys that I was going to do my first injection, my first self-injection today for you guys. So I'm a little nervous. I've never done a self-injection before. I kind of have a fear of needles, so this should be kind of a funny video. So we'll see how this goes. So I've got a little setup going. I've got my testosterone. I've got my alcohol swabs, which actually are really cool. They're like just little swabs in little packets, and you just rip them open, and they obviously sterilize everything. But you can get them in a box of, what is this, 200? Yeah, 200 individual foil packets for like $3. Super cheap. My nurse was trying to tell me to get cotton balls and alcohol, but it would have been like $5, so I was trying to save a little money, and these are totally way more convenient. Plus, you don't get like all the cotton residue everywhere, so I'm totally down for these. I have my 2 sets of needles. So I have my drawing needles right here, which are 18 gauge, which are kind of big and kind of scary. And then I have my, what are these, 23 gauge? Yeah, 23 gauge, and these are to actually give myself a shot. So they're not quite as long, and they're like a little bit thinner, so it technically shouldn't be so bad. I had my first shot last week in my butt, and today I'll be doing my shot in my thigh. So here we go. I'm going to get the testosterone out. I'm going to sterilize everything. And so yeah, this should be an interesting video. So as I'm getting everything out, I'll go ahead and show you guys. Okay. So I'm just going to take this, these alcohol swabs and swab the top area of this. I guess it's called the nipple. So you're going to swab the top area. Make sure that's all nice and disinfected. So I'm just going to rip open this alcohol swab. Like so, and it's just a little swab. I'm doing my shot in my thigh, like I said, so I'm going to show you guys how to do that too. So here's the swab. Just going to clean off the top, nice and disinfected. So that's nice and disinfected now. And now I'm going to disinfect my thigh. And instead of like injecting into like, I guess I'll stand up. Instead of injecting down here, what the goal is to inject up here. So when you're sitting, the way that she explained it to me is if you can just grab a nice chunk right here of thigh, that's where you want to do it. And so if you can get like a good handful, that's the place that you want to inject yourself. So I'm just going to go ahead and sterilize that. I'll probably do it again later because I'm kind of nervous. So I don't know if it really matters, but I'm just going to go ahead and take a handful here. I'm just going to go ahead and sterilize it so it's all nice and sterile. If I need another one, I'll just use another one. Okay, so now that I'm letting that dry, I'm going to go ahead and take one of my needles out. Okay, so I'm going to get one of my drawing needles. And I'm going to get one of my regular needles. So these are all sterile packets as well. So I'm going to open this up. So pull this out. Here's my needle. Woo! Yay! Alright, so what you do, these are all little twist things. So for me to get my drawing needle, which is just thicker and lets, the testosterone, which is kind of like olive oil thickness, get into the needle easier. So I'm going to have to swap these two out, which is actually a lot simpler than it sounds. I was kind of scared at first. So this needle, all you do is twist out, comes right off. Super simple. And then you just twist this one on. And she said to be careful and not twist it on too tightly, but you want it on there firm enough that it's on there. So because I'm, lol, I'm paranoid, I'm going to probably swab myself again. But here, off goes the needle cap. Oh, there goes the needle cap. So here's the needle, really kind of big and really kind of scary. So now that this is all alcohol swabbed, I'm just going to stick this in here. Alright, here it goes. Starting to get a little nervous now. And she said it really doesn't matter how far you turn it in. So, hold on. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to flip this over. And I'm just going to slowly draw testosterone out of the vial. Hopefully it'll draw. So I'm going to press it in. Pressing it in. And we're going to slowly draw testosterone out of the vial. There it is. Starting to go. I know this is kind of hard to see, but I'm just going to keep drawing it in there. My dose is kind of a low one, so I'm just going to draw in more than I need. Here we go. Okay, so I've drawn in a lot more than I need. I'm going to make sure there's no bubbles right here on the end, which there isn't, which is good. And then I am going to go ahead and push all the way down into my dose, which is the second little line on here. So, and you go to the bottom of the stopper, the little black stopper. Okay, so I've got my dose in here. There doesn't seem to be any air bubbles, so that's all kosher. So I'm going to pull this out. Okay, so that's pulled out. I'm going to put the cap back on. Cap is not back on. Okay, there we go. Cap snapped back on. Alright, testosterone's in the vial. So I'm going to twist this off gently again. Okay, it's twisted off. It's all off. Okay, so I'm going to put this back on. Okay, so this is back on. Huzzah, exciting. I'm getting really nervous now, just in case any of you were wondering. I really don't like needles. This is not exactly my idea of fun. So, okay, so I'm going to get another alcohol swab because, again, I told you I was probably going to do this anyway. So I am just going to swab my thigh again, which is getting increasingly more tense, which is bad. Do not tense your muscles. It will hurt later. Or so I've been told because this is only my second shot. Okay, so I've kind of found my nice and meaty area up here. Okay, found my nice and meaty area. I'm alcohol swabbing it. Here's the moment of truth. Sorry to my roommate who really wanted to be here for this, but I kind of just, this is kind of one of those like really personal, you want to do this by yourself kind of things. Okay, so that's nice and alcohol swabbed. I'm going to go ahead and take the cap off this needle. If I pass out, I'm sorry. I don't think I will, but I might. Okay, so this area is all nice and clean. Alright, this is really scary. Alright. Okay, here we go. Moment of truth. It's gonna go in. Alright, here we go. Alright. Needle is in. Needle is in my leg. I don't know if you can see it. Alright, I'm gonna aspirate. Make sure there's no blood. It's just air. We're good. I'm going to slowly start to push in the testosterone. I'm shaking so bad right now, it's not even funny. Okay. Alright, all of it's in. Alright, needle's out. I'm just going to set this down. I've got my nice little handy dandy paper towel. Okay. So my first shot is done. I'm mildly traumatized. What I'm doing now is I'm rubbing in circles just to make sure, whew, I feel like I'm going to pass out. Just to make sure everything gets dispersed so I don't have as much soreness later. While I'm doing that, I'm going to put the cap back on this. Just going to leave this here for a second. Surprisingly, it's not bleeding, which is good. Whew. Okay. I really feel like I'm going to pass out. This is not good. So before I do, I'm going to save my dignity. I'm going to put my Band-Aid on. Thank you guys for watching. It's probably an all-over-the-place video, kind of crazy. I'm going to go get some water. Make sure you dispose of your needles properly. Alright, have a great day, guys. Bye.